afternoon or good evening. I'm Audrey Wiggins, and welcome to another webisode of Make Something Happen. I'm excited to have in the studio today a master salesman. You're going to meet Jerry in a minute. This is Jerry Primm. Now, Jerry is the president, senior sales strategist, and analyst for Primme Unlimited. Primm was founded by Jerry primarily as a sales training company that provides corporate positioning, marketing strategies, and sales performance techniques and tools for companies that are striving to establish a competitive commercial presence in the mainstream.
Big
All
mouthful.
right.
That's a mouthful. It's my marketing team. They
Okay.
got paid for that one.
All right. Yeah, I think you have a great team there, Jerry.
Right.
Okay.
I do all that?
Yep, exactly,
Okay.
exactly. Now, Mr. Primm is also the VP of OES Digital Solutions, where he serves as the CEO of service and sales of document management systems, business process management, and data management application software. And Jerry, along with that, congratulations. First of all, I should say. Absolutely. I know recently, I want you to share with us about some awards if you want, but recently you've been inducted into the Kaleidoscope 4040. And I know that's kind of prestigious, and some other things that you've done in your sales career. Want to share this? Share with us that.
Yes, I was. Recently, we were inducted into the Kaleidoscope 4040. That was extremely humbling. I felt extremely honored to be there. And when you sit there and, they ask you that you want to, or you go through the whole process of being inducted, you get the phone calls, and, you don't really realize the gravity of it until you get to the induction ceremony and you see the previous classes that came through. We saw people who came through 20. I think we are the 20th class.
Wow.
And we saw people who came through from the first class, and like Brian Hall, Ramona Robinson, a number of other people, and you're sitting there like, wow, this is an award. Someone identifies you as potentially having the potential to do some things in the future. So I was extremely honored, extremely humbled, and saying, "Oh wow, now I really have to work."
Absolutely, you have to live up to that.
Yes. And then I thank God for men like Richard Johnson, because before he did that, no one was honoring minorities at all, and so that's an extremely important organization. Kaleidoscope magazine, my heart and soul goes out to Richard and his family. And
yes. And you've also for your sales efforts, you've been recognized as a national leader. Tell us about that.
Last year, I finished the fiscal year 2012, the number one sales rep in the country for Conica Minolta. All praises due to God. Yes, thank you. Extremely humbled by that honor. It was just an extreme. It was a grind. It was an interesting grind. Part of it's grind, and as I talk to other people around the country who've won awards like that or even comparable, in sales is just really a matter of persistence, being in the right place, right time, right situation, and everyone consistently says they stayed on their knees. They did a lot of praying.
Okay.
And so when you sit back and you look at it, it's like, Jerry, you're just this great master strategist. Like, tell me, Jerry, what did you do?
Exactly.
And I'm like,
it's the magic formula.
I was in the right place, right time. They passed me the ball, and I did.
Okay. Right. When it was your turn, you stepped up to the plate and took action.
Yeah, right, baby.
Absolutely. Well, that's awesome. Along with you've won awards, and I know you're just great at what you do, and I appreciate you coming by to share that with us, and hopefully we can glean some steps and processes from you, and hire you as our coach.
Right.
Give us some sales. But along with that, though, you have personal interests. You have a family. You like to work with your church and your community. Give us a little bit about that. You have 3 daughters or 2 daughters?
No, 1 daughter.
Yeah, one daughter.
If I had 2 daughters, I would probably
cut this and start this over.
No. You go ahead. Yeah, baby bear, it's only you.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I have 1 daughter and 2 sons. Daughter and 2 sons. If I had she makes me so emotional. She brings a whole nother side to Jerry. Before it's just like, you're very linear, and she brings so many different dynamics out, and I absolutely positively love it. Jerry Primm.
And we'll be right back.
Absolutely.
before the break, we had a little lighthearted conversation going on about you and your daughter. You've got a couple of sons, and working in the community, and active member of your church. But tell us, how did you get on this journey, this salesman journey? And maybe you worked for several companies, and you put in the time, you put in the sacrifice to make things happen and get what you want out of it. You set goals. Things just don't happen.
No, everything is very predictable. I think that if we were looking at, how I got on this journey, let's deal with that one first. How I got on this journey. I was young and married at the time, and I just wanted, I got a traffic ticket. So I wanted to be an attorney because I got mad because they gave me a ticket. That's just the truth. If you ask the question, it's the truth.
Right.
So I wanted to get a job that would pay me so I could get tuition reimbursement so I could become an attorney. Mm-hmm. And I remember Al Jones, who's now one of my mentors, and he taught me 85% of what I know about business.
Wow.
Extremely important, extremely wise man, Al Jones. And I remember talking to him this day, and he was saying, look, I'll go ahead and help you get the job, but I'm pretty sure you're not going to want to be an attorney after that. And I'm thinking to myself, and I think I told him, I said, you don't know me like that. I want to be an attorney. I just don't want no more tickets.
Yes.
And so I would be an attorney. And so he was right. I really didn't. And the large part of it was, or is, that one, for me, it's like a game. Mm-hmm. I enjoy the hunt.
Okay.
First and foremost. It was years before I even found out I was actually making money. My ex-wife didn't tell me. I had no idea how much money I made. Yeah, and but it was just a hunt. That's what I was excited about. Mm-hmm. So, and then the other things that I like is, when you look statistically speaking, salespeople make the most money, and I wanted to make a lot of money. I had a young family, and I just know I needed to support them, and I know I need to support them.
Yes.
And so I went at it, and I went at it hard. I studied everything that I possibly could. I read a lot. I saw a quote on Facebook the other day that said, poor people have big TVs, rich people have big libraries.
Okay, makes sense.
And so I get a lot of books, and then and now I'm starting to be smart enough to listen to them on audio. But I would read anything and everything. I'd read training manuals, CDIA. I'd read code, because sometimes you're sitting there and you're negotiating with IT, and IT, they're real. They don't really have the power to say yes, but they can surely tell you no. And so you better know how to speak the geekanese a little bit.
Absolutely.
And so now, just kidding, IT.
Don't pull the plug on us, please.
Right. And you're like, oh, really? Geekanese, right? Oh, this gets nothing. Lunch on me. I got you. So, just really, I really enjoyed the hunt. Mm-hmm. I really enjoy the ups, the downs, the highs and lows of sales. And to me, I just couldn't, I can't sit in a room for 8 hours a day.
Right.
I might choke myself or something. I'd be hanging up on the side.
Okay, and part of your hunt is in your preparation as well, and your organization. How you set up your CRM, your customer relationship manager. All those things are part of your success, or part of that hunt. Absolutely, everything is very strategic. When you look at true sales, and this is one thing that I think about, particularly in the minority community. I shouldn't even say minority community, small to medium business. When you're competing against a Xerox, a Konica Minolta, a IBM, or even a Walmart, everything that they do means something. There's no wasted energy. There's no wasted effort. And so small to medium businesses, we will say,
Well, we got a great wings. We got some great sauce recipes.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go out and.
Are you hungry?
I really am.
Don't use this food.
Yeah,
food
I
analogy.
really am. We were just talking about that. Mac and cheese.
Okay.
So we'll get a great sauce recipe,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll say, well, this is great, and so let's go out and let's sell it.
Yes.
So we'll get a storefront in some obscure neighborhood where there's little or no traffic,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not as strategic. Whereas when McDonald's decides on putting a restaurant up, they've done the demographics. They know who lives in an area.
Mm-hmm.
They know what their age groups are. They know how much traffic is coming through. They know how much parking to put in. They know exactly what to put there because it's literally analytics. It's business intelligence.
Yes.
And the programs do most of the thinking for you.
Mm-hmm.
So they greatly increase the probability that you'll make money. So when you make money, it's not accidental. It's very deliberate. I liken it to if I were to go into a kitchen and want to make a cake, I just don't take flour, eggs, and sugar and salt and just arbitrarily throw them in a bowl and expect, hey, look, I got a cake.
Exactly.
No, it's you follow a recipe for success, and success is very, very, very predictable. If you do these things, you'll succeed. Everyone has to pay their dues. The great thing is that digital technology has made it affordable for organizations, and that's what we do at Primme Unlimited. We bring everything that you can get at Walmart, everything that you can get when you work in a Sherwin-Williams. We bring all of those tools to small to medium businesses.
Okay.
And so those are some of the things that we use to make
Mm-hmm.
OES Digital Solutions profitable in the last quarter.
Okay.
And so, which we're extremely excited about that. I'm not the CEO of OES, I'm the COO of OES.
Okay.
And so we use those strategies to make it affordable. When you're going through it and you're looking at just following what other organizations do to become successful and staying at it and staying focused on it. I prefer to learn from someone else's experience.
That's right.
It just makes absolutely no sense for me to make those same mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make some new mistakes, but I won't make that one.
Exactly. Then you'll
know,
teach the rest of us.
Right. I read books constantly. I go to other people's sales training, even though I do my own sales trainings.
Yes.
I go around and go to other people's sales training. I go to Marvin Montgomery's, Al Becker's. I read their books.
Yes.
I want to know what's the latest and greatest out there. I literally, the reality of it is in order to be best, you need to hang out with the best. I think that's extremely important to you.
Yeah, so your education and continuing learning, because if we know it all, but nobody can tell us anything, and we're going to plateau.
If you know it all, then you know nothing.
Yes.
There's one thing I've learned in the past 12 months. It sounds kind of crazy, and you'll listen to all the greatest sales trainers, you'll listen to all the greatest people with very few exceptions. They'll all say, well, first and foremost, their personal relationship with God was extremely important, or is extremely important. And it's across the board. It doesn't matter who you talk to. Oprah, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs. There's some of them more so than others. But you have to look for those very intimate interviews.
Okay.
Then they were just extremely driven. They didn't accept no. No doesn't even compute. No just might mean not today, not right now, but we'll get you.
Yeah.
When you look at why Xerox is the way Xerox is, or why OES Digital Solutions is going to be the way it is, or why Primme Unlimited, there are very, very strategic reasons. Most small to medium businesses, and this is my commercial for for Primme Unlimited. But there are 4 key components that most organizations don't have. Most small to medium businesses, and that's marketing, a marketing strategy, or a marketing department, which is really in terms of, let's do the analogy. I got to get one.
Okay, go ahead. Let's get one.
Right, so
let's tell them, look right in that camera.
So in terms of marketing is really, if you were fishing, it'd be putting the bait on the hook. What makes your customer nibble, which makes them ready, even interested.
Okay.
In sales, most organizations don't have a sales team or a sales strategy. And so we bring in a sales team and a sales strategy, or train your sales team. And that would be, how do you catch the fish? How do you get it in the boat? How do you get it out the water into the boat? See, the marketing, the bait, sales, how do we catch it?
All right.
Business process management is where we really take a look at everything that you do. From the time that you start till the time that your product is delivered to the customer, and what you do after you deliver it.
Okay.
So that's your business process. And it could be something as simple as, we need to get you a CRM. You know, I'm doing
and for those on jury who don't know what that means?
Customer relationship management software.
Okay.
You know, I have an attorney who's about to grow really big, and but before she grows to her marketing, or before she grows via marketing, she has to be able to handle that case level. And so one of her biggest bottlenecks is she's managing her business through Excel spreadsheets.
Oh, okay.
And so we're putting a CRM in to help her manage her business better. And so she can collaborate with her employees and her other attorneys. So, so in terms of fishing, the marketing's the bait, the sales is the how do we get it out the water and into the boat,
Okay.
and the business process management is how do we cook it and clean it.
All right.
And then we also go and we work with the organizations on continuing education. If you do not have continuing education, then you don't know the best way to fish.
That's right.
And so, so we have the marketing, the bait, the sales, the how do we get it in the boat,
All right.
and then how do we the business process management is how do we cook it and clean it, and then the continuing education is what's the best methods, what's the best practices for fishing, for whatever I'm looking for. So that's what we do at Primme Unlimited.
All right. Well, we're going to hear more on the other side of this message from Jerry Primm at Primme Unlimited.
All right.
We'll be right back.
90% of vitamin D circulating in our body is vitamin D3, which is made by the skin after exposure to sunlight. That's why it's known as the sunshine vitamin. Vitamin D3 is actually a pro-hormone that has been found in almost every type of human cell, from your brain to your bones. What's even more compelling, studies show that almost every major disease can be linked to a vitamin D deficiency, including many cancers and bone diseases. Health providers and the public alike are starting to take notice. The New York Times called it a vitamin with broad influence. Fox News reported that except for stopping smoking, there are not many other known interventions that are capable of such a reduction in the risk of death. Emerging scientific research indicates that vitamin D3 plays a key role in our overall health and well-being, and that we can all benefit from adding this supplement to our diet. Sun and diet alone just aren't enough for today's fast-paced lifestyle. By covering ourselves in sunscreen to avoid the sun's harmful UV rays, we are blocking our primary source of vitamin D. Secondary sources such as naturally enriched foods and products that are fortified with vitamin D do not contain enough to maintain healthy levels in the blood.
You've been giving us some great information. Obviously, your experience, and you have a lot of knowledge. And we were talking to all of you.
Like my daddy
over there, that other person over there across the room. But when you talked about the CRM and how how that helps to that whole process, because you're managing information, because everything can't stay in its head. Time's moving fast, and we have to keep up, and things are moving along, and so that feeds into, helps us with our time management of being successful.
Right.
Speak to that a little bit.
I think that time, I know that in order to be successful, you have to manage your time very effectively. You know, one thing that I always watch with my mentor, Al Jones, is he always did something right here, right now.
Okay.
You'd be sitting in his office and he'd say, hold on. And then you try to talk to him, he'd do like this, and until he did accomplish the goal, he wouldn't talk to you, wouldn't even squint at you. Look, man, help me.
Okay.
And so
wait.
he was just like, he's very, very structured with his time management. And, you know, a lot of times we will, particularly in sales, particularly in outside sales, you have a lot of freedom, you have a lot of flexibility. You can tell who's working and who's not by what their numbers look like. And for the most part, you can tell in a good economy, you can tell who's working, who's not by what their numbers look like. And you can tell if they're managing their time effectively. And so, you know, I utilize a lot of different tools to manage my time.
Okay.
You know, I'm trying to get on Facebook a lot less nowadays. But Facebook
that has its place.
Yeah, Facebook is. Yeah, actually, I think they have software that even tracks what you're doing online. You know, which is helpful. It's not like Big Brother-ish, but it's really helpful to, you know, tell you what you're doing online. And sometimes I'll even look at my my call log to see like were these personal calls that I was making, because every second, every minute counts.
Yes.
You know, I'm constantly thinking. I was at lunch with a young lady a few days ago, and she said, you know, Jerry, did you notice you look at your watch like every 30 seconds? And I'm just like, yep. I know. So, because I'm busy, baby. I'm trying to make money, baby.
Okay.
So,
Gotta reel them in.
Right. And so, you know, but seriously, I always, you know, I start work at 7 in the morning. I might not finish until 9 at night.
Okay.
And so every minute counts. And then, you know, just to be constantly monitoring your time, I use my CRM to monitor my time.
Okay.
To manage my time. I try and book my appointments like 2 weeks out. And the CRM, it links up with it actually links with my email, it links with my phone, and it tells me where I'm supposed to be, when I'm supposed to be there, and how I'm supposed to get there.
All right.
You know, it is funny because, you know, I talked to my father, and my father is another one of my mentors. But my father has a philosophy. You know, I'll try and explain to him, Dad, if you want me to be there, put it in my calendar. Send me an invite, put it in my calendar. I'm almost guaranteed to be there. My father's like, you should be remembering that. I'm like, Dad, there's technology for that now.
Exactly. This is not.
And so,
the 80s.
Yeah. And so, you know, and so that's a really a cultural shift. And you know, in his defense, he makes a great argument that, you know, back in his day, they just remembered to do what was important.
And we knew phone numbers.
Right. Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I could barely tell you mine. I got a couple numbers that I don't know.
Yes.
You know, my direct line, my business line, I don't know my number. You know, I had to grab my card like, number like 888.
Exactly.
And so,
yeah.
But, you know, so in managing my time, you know, if you want me to be there, it has to get in my calendar. If it doesn't get in my calendar, if you don't hear me saying that I put it in my calendar, chances are I won't remember to be there.
Yes.
And that's probably me leaning, just being a little lazy, you know, compared to my father. My father can remember stuff. I just can't. When they taught me how to type and then they made digital technology, that just made
well, like you said, it's a cultural thing. This
Yeah.
is the culture that we live in now is this digital age.
Right.
Yes.
If you send me an invite, I'm there. If you don't, I'm probably not. Or if I don't put it in my calendar, the probability of me being there, even, you know, church events, you know, even, you know, or I have in my calendar, it tells me go to bed. Okay. You know.
Yes.
And that's probably a little anal. But
it is, but as a driven individual, you have to have those type of parameters. Because I myself, you know, you get into a project,
right,
and before you know it, it's midnight.
Right.
And you still have to wind down.
Yeah.
You know, so which means you really aren't getting to bed till really maybe 3 in the morning, and you have to be up and, you know, in an atom and at it again.
Right.
So I don't think that's it.
Right. As a salesperson, if you're not managing your time effectively, you know, even to how you're managing your particular territory.
Yes.
You know, I schedule all my appointments in, for the most part, in the same zip codes. And then, you know, it's interesting now that on the side of being an owner, so it's a little different mindset.
Yes.
But now, being on this side of the seat, I can see why it was so important on that side of the seat. because you're scheduling yourself in a particular zip code, so all your appointments on this day or in this zip code or the one next to it, so you're maximizing on your drive time.
That's right.
Maximizing on your appointments. Those are extremely important for a salesperson, and it also is it's a matter of making sure everyone values your time. You can't just call me today and say, well, Jerry, guess what? I want to meet with you today. Well, no, guess what? I was in 44122. You live in or your office is in 44109.
Yes.
That's a huge difference from Beechwood to Clark. So guess what? I'm in 44109 next Tuesday.
Okay.
So I'll be there on next Tuesday.
Yeah, but anyway, getting back to the time management in the CRM, at one of our meetings that we were at together, you used an example of a client that you had called on, or they had found you and you wouldn't call. We've got that tale out here.
All right, let me tell that tale. Well, that's an interesting one. And this is one thing that you have to realize as a salesperson, that everyone's not going to like you, and you just have to get over it. This is the reality. The question is, I'll never forget. Al asked me a question. I'll get there later.
Okay.
I was my manager at the time didn't like me. My territory was Beechwood. He sends me cold calling in Sandusky, Ohio. In the dead of February, it was extremely cold. So I'm just like, oh my goodness, did he really send me from Beechwood to Sandusky?
Yes.
It's an hour and 15 minutes the other way. So I refused to go to Sandusky without trying to sell the largest organization there, which was Cedar Fair, which is Cedar Fair. And so, before I go there, and this is one important thing, when you talk to a client, you should know everything that you can about them. Don't be intellectually lazy. You have to. There's Google. There's any of these search engines you can figure out. You can find something about an organization. Period. That's right. And so you have to do your due diligence. Now it's Cedar Fair at the time. Marge Minami, God rest her soul, she was the purchasing manager. So marketing sent me to the purchasing manager, which I was very shocked. I didn't even really want the appointment, to be blunt about it, because I knew nothing about the organization.
Right.
Oh my God, we did.
Yeah. So, right. Tell a story.
So shoot, I knew nothing about the org. I didn't know enough to even be sitting with the marketing director. So when I'm sitting there with the purchasing director. So when I'm sitting there at that level, I want to know as much as I can, and I want an opportunity to ask for the order. So, to this day, she was the most trying appointment I've ever had in my life. She was just like Darth Vader. She sliced and diced us to death. Everything you could say. So I used my CRM, and so we go back. And I input everything into it. Everything. I want to know your birth dates. I want to know what your mama's name is, your dog's name is. I want to know when you had your bar mitzvah, your bat mitzvah. The CRM tells you to call her back in another 3 months. So we set the alert to call her back in 3 months. I call her in 3 months. She gives me an appointment. So I go up there, and she's a little better. And then she starts to loosen up a little and tells me, so once every 3 months for about 15 months. I'm going there. So, one day, out of the blue, she calls me. Now, I'm not sure if she called me or I called her, but somehow we got on the phone and she asked me for Brothers in Telefax 2820. And so that's really something. Everything that I sell is commercial grade, and nothing is $200, $300. More a fax machine with me is probably more like $2,000-$3,000.
Right.
On the low side, but a decent one is probably about $4,000 or $5,000. But that's for fax-intensive organizations, and the purchasing department is a fax-intensive organization.
That's right.
So they would, and particularly at that time. So she would go through, she'd just buy a fax machine at Office Max, throw it away, and then get another one. So that was her way of giving me an opportunity. So I'm not stupid.
Yes.
I know a guy who has one of the largest healthcare facilities on earth. And I asked him, how did he get that account? He said, I sold him one fax machine. Okay. He didn't go for the big thing.
Right.
He just went for one thing just to get his foot in the
True
door.
foot in the door. I was going to say that, foot in the door. And I'm going to stop you right there. We're going to come back and finish the story on the other side of this message. we took that last break, you were about to tell us about the gentleman. You said you sell a fax machine. You got your foot in the door.
Yeah, so now he, on the low side, he sells about $135,000 a month.
Wow.
To that particular account because he sold them one fax machine. So I'm looking at like this is my opportunity. So I said, Mrs. Minami, we don't sell the brothers in Telefax 2820, and we don't sell anything in that price range. But what we do sell is I can get you a pricing exception, and I can sell you a refurbished device at right around that price. And so I faxed it and I emailed it to her immediately. And I input it into my CRM. And so I did not hear from her after that. So, but I took the fax confirmation, scanned it into my email. So everything that I do with all my accounts, I have electronic copies of everything.
Okay.
So she, I call her 3 months later, and she says, Jerry, she said, Jerry, this is how she used to talk. She's like, Jerry, I gave you an opportunity with that small fax machine, and you didn't see much commission in it, so you didn't even think to send me an invoice or a quote for it, and I'm never going to do business with you, Jerry. And I said, hold on, Mrs. Minami, hold on. And so I'm talking to her, I'm looking at my CRM, because I never talk to anybody without going through the CRM first. Okay. And so I'm sitting there talking to her like, no, Mrs. Minami, you asked me for Brothers in Telefax 2820, and you asked for it on this particular day. And I sent you the quote, I faxed it, and I emailed it on these days. And if you're going to your Outlook, and you'll see it in your Outlook on this particular day. Yeah. So she goes into her Outlook, and I can hear her pause for a second. I can hear her doing something on her computer, and I'm assuming that she was looking it up. And there it was. Okay. So she says, come see me on Tuesday. So when I get there on Tuesday, I signed an 8-machine deal with her. Wow. So if I did not have that CRM, there's no way in the world that I would have gotten that deal.
Exactly. You would have been fumbling in conversation if she would have flattened you.
I would. What happened was I did send it, but you evidently, so it would have been my word against hers. But the CRM gave me every tool that I needed to earn that business. And, and as she was signing it, she says, Jerry, I've been working here for 30 years, and your company has been trying to get in here for 30 years. Wow. And the very first day I met you, I thought you'd never come back, and I'm so proud of you for staying. This was a conversation I had. Wow. And so as a salesperson, particularly, there's nothing that, there's hardly anything that I sell, or at least back then that I sold was less than $8,000. Now that I'm with OES Digital Solutions, I sell a lot of stuff, baby. Okay. But so I have never been the incumbent on a large account. I've always had to take the account like I took that one. And it was always persistence. Okay. Always diligent persistence. And it was never particularly on your larger accounts, whoever's in there, somebody's going to make a mistake. And so you just have to be there at the right place, right time. Business, I just made a mistake, so I was right place, right time. All right. So, and that's the reality of sales. It's just, I think a lot of people come into sales and they expect that, well, most people who are in sales, they make more money than the average person, and that's true. But what you don't see is there is no downtime. Right. My phone works. I had to literally turn it off because otherwise you'd hear it. And my clients know they can call me, and that's a challenge. There is no downtime. You don't have the luxury of not answering a call or just saying, well, at 8 o'clock I'm out. Right. Or at 5 o'clock I'm out. You're working. And if you want to be on the high level, if you want to be in that top 20%, you have to ask questions. You have to do things that everyone else will not do. All things being equal, you really have to make yourself unequal. Yes. You have to make yourself unequal. I know my competitor, my average competitor, is going to go to sleep. They are at 3 o'clock, they are checking out. Okay. And I'm just like, baby, I'm getting started. I'm literally looking for an energy drink. Like, hey, where's my monster? Oh, don't study.
Uh-oh.
No, it's not going to give you that kind of money. So, I'm looking for an energy drink so I can actually.
See, I got something for you.
Right. So, but in order just to, I'm constantly reading.
Mm-hmm.
I'm constantly studying. I'm constantly at networking events.
Mm-hmm. That was a key thing right there, networking events.
Right.
Meeting people.
Oh my God. And then I will say their name. The Heights Hill Crest Regional Chamber of Commerce.
Mm-hmm.
I think they won CBC's #1 networking organization of the year. Their event was their expo was the #1 in Wayne over at Beechwood Chamber of Commerce.
Mm-hmm.
You can always learn something from them. Or United Black Fund. I like going to their events. And then attaching yourself to a mentor. I had one. I taught a sales class last week, and I had a young lady ask me to be her mentor, which was like interesting. I'm just like, wow, somebody actually asked me to be their mentor. Like, really? Did she?
I want you to be my mentor too.
Right. I'm just sitting there like, really?
Mm-hmm. That's a compliment. Yes,
all praises due to God. That's extremely,
yes.
extremely humbling. Extremely humbling. When I won the award over at Konica Minolta, that was the thing that they said that really they felt really got me the award, was I helped a lot of people. Okay. And it was for the first time at that organization, was the first time, and my mentor used to tell me, and I used to be very, very selfish. And you'd be very, very, you're very competitive.
Okay.
Just by nature being a salesperson, you're very competitive. So you want to be #1. So I'm keeping all my good stuff to me. I ain't helping nobody else, right?
Right.
But it wasn't until, on this side of being saved, it wasn't until I started helping people that I actually started to receive a whole lot of benefits, baby. And so I'm just, it is what it is. And so I started helping. And so I remember looking at my manager and I'm saying to him, and I said, and Roger will tell you, I said to him, man, I must really like you because I'm giving you all my good stuff.
Wow.
And so little did I know that when I used to hold on to all my information and just trying to keep it to myself, that's when I held myself for my blessings. And so when I started to help people, and release, then, my hands were open to receive blessings.
Yes.
And so it sounds, it sounds all, esoteric and metaphoric and churchy and whatever you want to call it, but it's just
the law, and it's true.
It's the truth,
But how can we plug into Primme Unlimited now, or the training company? Which one is it that we would, if we want to train it?
If you want to, here I'm going to give you all the bat number.
All right.
I'm going to give you the bat number. I'm going to give you my personal cell number. You can give me a call at 216-256-1608. That is 216-256-1608. Call me directly. Let me know that you were referred by Miss Wiggins, or you were watching the show, and we'll go ahead and hook it up. We're going to, at the latter part of this summer, we're going to open up some intense training classes in a very affordable fashion. And we do a lot of consulting for small to medium business, not just minority, but just small to medium business in general.
Awesome.
We're extremely excited.
We're excited for you.
All praises to God.
Yes, and I'm so glad that that you came across my path when you did. Thanks for answering my email.
Oh my God!
I send a lot of emails and don't always get answers back.
Oh my God! That email was hot. I called her like, "Hey, look, how you do that?" So I was like, I had to call I swear to God, I called my marketing guy. Like I sent to them like, You seen this before? Why am I not doing that?
Exactly.
I was like, that was hot. That was like, wow. Okay, I could not. You remember that conversation?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
I do.
right.
I'm like, I thought it was so bad. I'm like, Bruce. I'm like,
right.
I said, Jerry.
I'm like, this is Jerry Primm. That was hot. Right? And so.
Oh
yeah,
that was exciting.
Yeah, I was excited. I was like, that was hot right there. I'm like, look, dude, you know, you gotta get him. No, I'm just kidding. Magic. You know, I love your Magic.
But I'm gonna hook him up,
Right.
okay? But I'm gonna hook him up.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. What did you say that? Because you before I just met you, you talked about,
Right.
and you said it already in the interview about when all things are equal, you have to make them unequal.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So that was a game changer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you gotta be, hey, look, you gotta be here. You know, and anytime you want me here.
All right,
here.
you said that. Okay, international
Right.
TV.
Right.
So I'm glad, yes,
Hey,
thank
look,
you.
you know, all jokes aside,
Yes,
you know, I don't care.
Very appreciative.
Yeah, and what you see out of Jerry Primm and Primme Unlimited, you know,
Mhm.
interesting thing is this is my third. You know how they say you have to go through so many failures in order to success. So I guess this is like my third business that I've actually owned. Third or fourth, something like that. I don't even know. But, you know, and so what you see out of me today is not what you're going to see out of me tomorrow.
Yes.
Well, in fact, I mean,
continually evolving.
oh my goodness. And so I don't care what I do, and I'll say it here on TV, we're going to be extremely big.
Yes, absolutely.
But I don't care what I do. I'm always, no matter what, I'm going to do this show. You know, so anytime you want me, just pick up the phone and call me. All praises to the guy. We hit it off. You know, we hit it off. Yes, I'm like, yes, I'm coming. I'm like, when am I in?
Okay.
And so, right, you can tell I'm a little animated. You know?
That's good. That's some energy here.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm trying to be
absolutely.
nice. I'm trying to, because normally I get up and I'm like, the camera is only going to keep me here. Right? So I'm trying to do it.
Yes. All right. Well, give us some closing words. We're gonna take a quick break and come right back, and we're just gonna close it out a couple minutes. Okay.
Okay.
All right. We're gonna be right back with Jerry Primm.
Okay.
Studies show that you are likely one in a billion. One of a billion people, that is, that are vitamin D deficient. At least you're in good company. New research suggests that vitamin D may be one of the best vitamins for your entire body, since scientists have uncovered more than 200 different genes that are regulated by this nutrient. So if you want your vitamin D without harmful rays, spray it. Taking an oral spray helps for quick absorption into the circulatory system, tissues, and cells. Vitamin D3 spray is easy to take, perfect for those who dislike swallowing pills, and is 10 times easier for the body to absorb. So be that one in a billion that takes their health seriously. Getting enough vitamin D might be the most important thing you do for yourself. Vitamin D3 spray. A little drop of sunshine that will make a big difference for a long, healthy life.
That was an interesting interview.
All right.
It was with Jerry Primm.
Right.
And Jerry, I just want to thank you again, but I want you to, to close us out though.
Close us out.
Yes.
You know, it's always, one, I guess a couple things.
All right.
That in terms of being a good salesperson, I think that first and foremost you have to do what your competitors are not willing to do, and that's really studying and never quitting. Failure is a very, very, very good thing. I didn't really understand it on the sales side, but now that I'm on the owner side, if you will, you understand that when you're looking at those reports, you see the failures, and they mean that you're actually trying.
Yeah.
So as you're looking at reports, you're just like, oh wow, okay, well we were trying. And so if after so many failures, you know that you hit one, and it'll be a nice one. But if you're not trying, then we weren't in enough opportunities. We weren't doing what we need to do to further our business. Managing your time is so important. Looking at how much time are you spending on Facebook? How much time are you spending on Instagram? How much time are you spending on things that are not revenue producing or revenue generating activities? I even literally will look and say, and roll through my call log, which I think is important for me, and see how many people were I speaking with that have zero to do with business.
Yeah.
And so from 8 to 5, it's you're not calling me like, hey, look, I was talking to you about Real Housewives of Atlanta. No, we're not gonna have that kind of conversation. You know, and sometimes you just have to, you know, take a hard stance. No, unless you don't want to be number one. So, which is cool. Everybody's not for everybody. Yeah. And so I think that the best piece of advice is embrace your failure. Learn from it. Every failure that I've had taught me how not to make that one again and to be successful. And I appreciate so much having people who care enough about me, and that's the way I view it. Mm-hmm. That you cared enough about me and cared enough about my image and cared enough about my business to pick up the phone and call me and say, Jerry, you know you messed that one up, right? Mm-hmm. And so it gives me an opportunity to correct it, because how many other people didn't say it or wouldn't say it? Mm-hmm. You know, so when I look at people like Al Jones, Berner, Patrice Blakemore, I'm going to put her in that category. People who actually care about you will actually tell you the truth. Mm-hmm. And so I don't need yes men around me. I don't need everybody like, hey Jerry, you're so great. You're the greatest salesperson. You trained me very well. I'm like, did that help me put anything in my pocket? No, because you walking around, you the guy with the doo-doo on his shoe, mm-hmm, and no one wants to tell you. Right? Not tell me. Right. Exactly. So I so appreciate that. Yes, I really do. Okay. So keeping good people around you, keeping a good team around you. A good team.
Jerry, again, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. And next time, in the meantime, you go out and you make something awesome happen, and your neck of the woods expand into the whole universe. Take care.